idea why the game crashed on me just now. But I was fondling dead bodies, so that might be why. Note to self, stop fondling dead bodies. Oh my god, I can't. Alright, the game is loaded. Let's go fondle more dead bodies, because I wasn't done. Okay, so I just got done talking to Rakesh. Hopefully my conversational pieces stayed. Oh shit. No, I'm fondling Rakesh's dead bodies. I'll be back. Again, I seriously apologize for the disconnect earlier. I don't know why the game crashed. But I was in the midst of fondling dead bodies and then it crashed on me. Yeah, I was over here. So, and sorry about the crying in the background. We have basically. So there's Rakesh tending to his dead bodies, which is cool or whatever, you know. On with the main quest. They wanted me to go to Pembroke Hospital and probably do like Rakesh is doing and fondle more dead bodies. Is there anything of use over here? Or are these just more dead bodies that you're draining of blood? Oh. Glass vials. Hey, lady, shut up, nurse. The lady's rushing me. No, not useful items here. Yes, you do have all night because it's perpetual darkness here. And the game does not continue without the main anti-protagonist, which would be me. So shut up and let me explore the city. Yeah, I want to pick up as many hints and stuff as I can before I continue. Because the doctor is fucking sus. The doctor is sus as fuck.
He's mine!
Oh, you with them shits.
Filthy piece of shit!
Yeah, just die. Ooh, yes, yes. Okay, teleporting. Weapon change is needed. I forgot how to, there we go. Hatchet, yeah. Yeah. I forgot how to bite though. Rusty box of pills. Okay. You know what's sad is I'm prolonging the inevitable. Maybe I should just go ahead and get back. I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, the only thing they're going to do is like show me to a bed. I don't think they're going to close off this entire area just yet. Okay, nurse. What you guys got hiding back here? Ooh, Appreciate it. Can I inspect the blade? I mean, if it's like this, then it's relatively fresh, right?
Sir, step away!
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry. I'm stepping away now. What you thought this was, nigga? Telling me what to do. Try long range. Yeah. Oh my god, they kill both of you? Alrighty then. What's up with the blood? Yeah, pest control. Wait, don't you run from me.
I have this thirst for blood.
Quarantine influenza, keep out of this area by order of Board of Health officer. I don't think influenza did that. But okay. Oh, okay, so this is the rest point. I'm gonna rest.
It's locked.
Are you fucking joking? Okay, so it's locked. Which means I really have to get back. And whatever, nurse, I'll be there now. Because apparently I'm not allowed to do anything else here. Can I eat you?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye.
You're a dick.
I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since.
But he's black,
Old
so it makes
habits die
sense.
hard.
You're good,
No
guy.
need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
You're most definitely the black guy. You told me he's an ambulance
So what do you
driver.
do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've
Why do
been
you
an
have to be a
ambulance
dick?
driver since too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Thanks for
It
that.
sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped from the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Oh. Awesome. Individual quest lines. I like it. Alright, cool.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
I get where you're coming from, big dog. I get where you're coming from.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
So that they can
You
defend
keep people
themselves.
alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Good shit. Good shit. I like it. You're a pretty good guy. I like it. You're damn good at what you do, so.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful.
So I got a
We lack
hint for him earlier,
and it's
though.
getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Where does the hint come into
too
play
long, I
then?
guess.
Do I have to get
I
another
bring
hint
sick people here
first?
night and day. It's a dirty job, but I
Damn
get
it,
it done.
I gotta ask the fucking
most of
nurse.
the time.
Yeah, I've asked all the questions that I can right now.
I'd like to
Let's
see your goods.
wares.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Assault rifle, please. Milton's shotgun. I can always use a shotgun. Wait, bullets only cost a fucking shilling? Like one shilling? Oh, you don't have many bullets though. Fucking useless. Right. Anything else I need, I'll come back to buy. Alright. Hey,
Doctor,
nurse.
where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse.
Not really.
I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Hey, nurse.
I would like to ask a few
Of course.
questions first.
Okay, my room is on the second floor. I already know this, but I could cross-check what she had just said. Let's ask about
What
Dr.
kind
Swansea.
of man is Dr. Swansea?
Even though she's an employee.
Well,
she
you
might not say
accepted
that
the
much.
job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Yeah, I knew you'd be an ass about it.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Oh, bet you know. Nurse Crane.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Quite a state of shock, huh? So you gave him a
If you
shock?
could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Awesome.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Okay, I've exhausted her dialogue, so I should be good now.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Shut up, nurse. Okay, more people to question. You, I want answers.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
This is my
Dr.
wife.
Tippett, yes, I
Have I
remember.
met you before?
I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Thank you.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
You being a dick.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Aww, shut up.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation?
Maybe
And
I can take a
please,
different
speak
dialogue
freely.
route there.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either.
Oh
I
shit,
can't
they
have
locked in
expected this
dialogue.
hospital to be prepared.
Don't be misled by appearance.
Okay, and you use square to
What
like
can you
sit
tell me
dialogue.
about the
Okay,
staff in
cool.
the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
This is interesting.
Tell me more about cherished people then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You
What
really
about
seem
this
to
drink?
admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Oh, sexism is a thing.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Damn.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Okay, locked up like Fort Knox, I see. Mr. Hooks.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Don't be a dick.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Goodbye, Milton.
And I thought last summer's epidemic was difficult.
God damn it, man. Painting Milton out to be the bad guy here. That fucking sucks. Also, is it that we just don't have the materials to like successfully what's the word I'm looking for here?
It's safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Like, can we not disinfect the hospital and get some of these people inside, you know?
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my
Hey,
blood
lady.
boil with the fever.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet.
Hello,
My
lady.
name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, Nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Oh, she's one of those caring nurses.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual. Especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned. Milton is not the chatty type.
Okay, cool. She's my
Why is Milton
my
grumpy
information
on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Thanks, Nurse Hawkins.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins. Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Hopefully I didn't like, Okay, cool.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I really want to follow up with that information that they gave me not a moment ago. Because Milton is an interesting character, to say the least.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
And, I got more information.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Good shit, Milton. Good shit.
Goodbye, Milton.
Thank you. I get where the fuck he's coming from now. Well, hello, lady.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see.
Out the side
Well,
of the dick
I'm
and
a
through the
little
mouth.
surprised.
Yeah, transfusion.
I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
Bullet from a gun. Where did that come from?
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Intriguing.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Gotcha. I got you, nurse. I get where you're coming from.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
'Cause y'all
If it
fucking.
wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Your gender, you say. Yeah, I
Goodbye,
think
nurse.
he wants more
Call
than
me if
just
you need
your
assistance.
professional knowledge, nurse. Okay, Tippett. I gotta do some cross-checking here. Ooh, you got supplies for me? Yeah.
Good
Because I got
evening,
some
Dr.
things
Tippett.
to take a look into anyway.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Good shit. Good shit. Good shit. Good shit.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Good shit. Okay. Awesome. How do I check to see if there were any like hints that I hadn't followed up on? Okay, yeah, here it is, here it is. Followed up on that hint, so good on that. 2 hints on Dr. Tip, and none on Hawkins yet. But I do have several enough on Milton, but he will be like my gun parts merchant, so I want to hold on to him. But he is most definitely edible, or closest to edibility, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. Alright, we're actually getting somewhere here. I just don't want to eat people yet. I want to discuss... Hello, lady.
Good evening, miss. I'm
Oh,
Dr.
you're
Reed,
sick.
the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
What? Hold on.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
Yes, suck my
I'm
neck.
curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
You know, I actually believe that.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Interesting.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Yes, I am a vampire.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
I assumed as much.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Okay, lady.
Who are you really?
Wait.
I mean,
wait a minute.
apart from being
I got
a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal?
I'm kidding.
No,
I got a hint for her earlier.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
No, I got a hint. I want
Good
to
evening, Miss
discover this stuff.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
Fine. Okay, alright, cool. And I'm assuming that I'll get other hints from her related to others. And everybody up top, I'm assuming is patients.
To your nocturnal activities.
A giant morgue disguised as
That's
a
another
hospital.
nurse,
That's
but I
what
want to talk to
happened
another
nowadays.
patient.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by them.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Okay. Sorry, dog.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
Ooh,
I
I can
really
relate to
don't
this
want
one.
to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Interesting. Yeah, let's talk about this vampire.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
I don't think that's a good thing to say.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
You know, they always say that people who suffer from mental illnesses are actually genuinely more happy and more fulfilled in life than those who aren't. So that is a rather interesting perspective that he holds. I like it. Where's our little vampire? Where the fuck did she go? Because you're not gonna be around here sucking on my patience, lady. Fuck she run off, dude. I like how the world is active, if that makes sense. How everybody's, you know, give me a just move, lady.
Good evening, Doctor.
Oh.
I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed.
You're a vampire.
I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Interesting.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Good shit, Doctor. Good shit.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Stop riding my dick. He's already explained that he would, and I'm pretty sure he wants to play with my methods.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Okay, cool. I'm learning more. Let's see. Do I have most of the staff knocked out? Because the staff can up and disappear, which would be... Wait. Hook, Hawkins, Tippett, Brannigan. So, Elwood, Hallcroft, Strickland, Fiddick. It seems like they rank a bit differently. I did discover a clue about Elwood though, so that's something I'm most definitely going to want to follow up on.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Oh my god.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Ooh, lady, you tripping. Ooh.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
God damn it.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick.
Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Yes, you are correct.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
Okay.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Ooh, I like it. Nothing to work with here, and I think I have exhausted all her dialogue there.
Goodbye,
so,
Mrs. Goswick.
Oh, oof, my bad, Miss Goswick.
Good evening.
Little Morty.
I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of.
Whoa there.
She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Okay. But her money is useless.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Your mother is quite sus indeed. Again, I love how the environment is dynamic.
What can I
Everybody's
do for you,
moving.
Doctor?
I love it. I love it. Oh.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
We will convene later.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Ooh.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Come on.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Ooh.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
I get it. I got you.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Treats me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Okay, good shit. Oh my god, I really like this game. I just gotta be frank with you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
You got a fucking problem, bro.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon. And it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative. It is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Ackroyd?
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice.
Yeah, that's
The
not
benefit
necessary.
of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
This is a good one.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
That's actually, this is a tough one. I'm not going to play sides here. I don't want to play sides, and this is where I would actually ask the viewers to decide. I don't want to play sides here, because these first two will be playing sides.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Good one. I like you, even though you don't like me.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so this, ooh, I like it, I like it. I haven't really gotten a chance to actually invest a decent amount of, there you go. Hey lady.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Listen here.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Bro, don't let her bite you again.
Good evening,
I see her
Mr.
looking
Elwood.
over
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Creeping in the background. No hints unlocked. No hints. Okay.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Ooh.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Good shit, good shit.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Okay. They shouldn't be so close together.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Okay, I thought
Goodbye,
something
Nurse Hawkins.
unlocked or something. All right, now, I have my reservations. I still have reservations about. Where did they go?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Okay.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Alright, so I think I've gotten just about everybody. Let's double check here. Oh, fuck me. I killed Clay Cox. So there's two people who I don't know yet. So I believe I've talked to just about everybody.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Stop looking so mean, dog. So I'll talk to you and you and... Is his mother gone? She's not gone.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
They lack the resources, but we have some of the most brilliant minds in London.
I don't believe I've spoken to you yet.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr.
You just
Reed.
move around a
Thank
lot.
you for your time.
Good shit, bro.
We'll talk later.
You're very active, and he's active. He's good. He's doing his job. Oh, the doors to the hospital have been open. Okay, cool. Alright, perhaps I should continue with the main storyline then.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Near the morgue, it should be in this general area. But these vampire hunters she spoke of.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Never ceases to amaze me.
I cannot enter.
Through another entrance to the hospital.
It's locked. It's locked.
I simply must find the key. But this letter, though. Have I been in here before? I don't recall being in here. Small bottle. Okay. Wait. I don't want to go in yet. Grease and screws. I wonder what's up with this head over here, though. Is that, personal quest related?
It's locked, all right.
Is there anybody nearby? No one that I can see. Except for Hawkins, clipping through the place. That backstep though, that's nice. Serious over there. I don't think I'm ready to fight anyone yet. The fuck are you doing? I don't like her. She's sucking on my patience.
Not now.
Okay, Swansea. Used hacksaw. Okay. So I got more information on Elwood.
It's locked, all right.
Gotta get my hands on some sort of keys.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Yeah, it's about time to get some rest. That is something I think is worth investing into. Just a sort of block mechanic. That could be pretty helpful. Yeah, I want to be the most thirsty vampire ever. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Y'all have a good one. It's your boy Onix the Destroyer signing out.